how does the church operate? What do we do with leadership? We're so entrenched. Jesus said that no man having drunk new wine immediately desires it, because he says the old is better. There's a type of an addiction to the old wine, if you would. We get used to having one guy preach. Who's your pastor here? And it's like we need a guru, if you would. We need a pope, or we need a pastor or an apostle or a bishop, or we need somebody up there who's shining in the rising star, the great leader, the man of God. Well, okay, those are great points, because we get used to that. Look, the Bible teaches us that we're all kings and priests. The Bible tells us that the priesthood of every believer is a real spirit, or a real New Testament concept, that we should all become disciples of Christ, and all of us should be sent into the harvest to be workers. So how do we solve that dilemma and make that transition where we're not looking to some super talented, super gifted orator or leader or church growth manipulator? That would probably be the best word to say for them. All right, here's the issue. We'll go back to what Jesus said. He said, John's baptism, was it from heaven or of men? He showed us that there were two types of authority. There was a heaven-given authority and a man-made authority. In heaven's authority, God is on the top. There is a pyramid of sorts, because God is on the top, and all authority flows down from God. But as it pertains to us here in the earth, the top spot on the pyramid is filled, and people are not it. God is it. Jesus is Lord above us all. And so if you would turn this thing around, leadership in the New Testament was not over anybody, it was under everyone. We're not to lord anything over, we're to serve everyone. And so as we become servants, I'm not trying to say we don't have leadership. We do have leaders. I don't say there's not leadership and authority that even tells someone what to do, possibly. That's there, but it's certainly not domineering or controlling, which brings me to another issue. The idea of how do we see this authority work? If there's just authority from heaven or of men, let me tell you how man's authority works. Man's authority works by control, and fear is the basis of that control. And so if you leave our church, you'll be cursed. Or if you touch my anointed, you're going to be cursed. And you have all these fear tactics used to keep people under the pyramid, because the success of church growth is keeping as many people as you can under one guy's pyramid. And so, the idea of them jumping ship or getting out of there is, boy, that's the nightmare to all church growth manipulators. So we have to really be careful to make them stay in the pyramid and find ways to keep them in there. Whereas God is love, and the New Testament principle is love. Let me tell you something. The authority of fear versus the authority of love is so, think about it. When we have the networking of churches, for instance, churches are growing. Our churches are getting away from my immediate control. We're seeing churches planted in other places. I don't have any control over those, but the authority of our relationship still says a lot, because we're still in relational or in a loving relationship. The strength of that is way more than if I was trying to put a bureaucratic control or a military type control. The strength and power of a loving relationship, it supersedes all those other things. As a matter of fact, the authority of love is the best. Love is stronger than death. And we have to realize that the strength of that love will govern the church. And that's how it has to work. And so the further it gets away, and when people get used to that, let an authoritarian try to step in there. It takes care of itself. The people just like, man, you're not doing that to me. They just won't do it, because they're not afraid of church religious leaders. I don't want to call them church leaders, religious leaders anymore. They just don't fear them.